get back to the Giants. If you're just joining us, and I just sent this out, and I don't know how everybody feels about this. I would imagine most people right now, especially the mood that the Giants fans are in, and I heard Zach Manassian publicly state earlier today, we welcome criticism. And I thought to myself, perfect. That works out great for the rest of us. Because I don't know how I don't know how it could go any other way right now. I appreciate from on one hand that they are at least trying some new things. At the same time, I think that this feels like it's got a real shelf life to it. You know what I mean? Pavlovich just tweeted out that Casey Schmidt is taking pregame warmups out in right field. Okay, so now we're doing that.
Well, we're doing everything.
That's what I mean. And I think that's a hard thing to do in professional sports. Think about how often we go through some sort of a sports year. Has happened a lot with the Warriors with their injuries the last 2 years. And you'll get like 3/4 of the way through the season, and someone will give you that stat of how many different starting lineups Steve Kerr has used this year. And that is usually an indication that things aren't going well. We out here just hucking stuff up against the wall because we're hurt or what we're doing is not working. And the Giants have set up a scenario now where it's not just going to be different lineups. I don't mind if guys are getting shuffled around the lineup, but we're talking about dudes moving all over the field. The catcher is in right field. The third baseman's in right field.
Well, the third baseman's the third baseman.
Well, but Casey Schmidt, at his core, used to be a third baseman,
but not anymore.
And now
Casey Schmidt now is a check the lineup card and find what glove you need to wear today.
I get it,
and go play.
And that's tough. That's hard.
I don't know if it's tough for him. I mean, it might be tougher for other people.
It's one of the questions I asked Tony in the dugout on Wednesday.
Is it tough for Casey?
I said, are there any concerns about a player that could be in a different spot on the field almost every day? And he said the one thing that they have to watch is basically wearing him down, wear and tear. There is an extra wear and tear to that. The guy DHs, you've been playing a lot of first base. Now we're moving over to the left side of the infield, the right side of the infield. We're going to put you in right field. You know, hey, bud, go out there and pregame. Learn how the ball comes off the bricks. Listen, I'm not a big league ball player. This is what they tell me. And so that was his answer. The other thing that he kept bringing up, though, with all this moving around is that some level of organized chaos might be good for the Giants right now. Because I took it to mean, I guess, two things. One is it's going to make everybody stay accountable. If you don't hit, what's your line?
Then you must sit.
Then you must sit. So I think that was a piece of what he was talking about. And also, you know how he keeps talking about everybody's just trying too hard and thinking too much and this and that?
They're pressing, Mark.
Right, they're pressing. So maybe this chaos sort of almost is a healthy distraction? That's kind of how I took it.
I mean, a healthy distraction, but also I think a healthy reminder that nobody is safe on this team. If you struggle, then you may not be allowed to go out there and keep playing. Patrick Bailey is a great example where two-time Gold Glove catcher. He's been really good again defensively, throwing people out and, framing, which actually still matters with ABS because you only get 2 challenges. So, blocking balls, framing, throwing people out. But if you hit at that level, you are not guaranteed to play every day. And even Matt Chapman, who's been really in a struggle for the last couple of weeks, he sat. And you've got, Adames, who might have a game where he sits, and he actually already had one. And Devers is a guy who is kind of coming out of a funk, maybe, but he could be in a spot where he's going to sit. Nobody is safe right now on this team.
Correct. And then that brings us to Patrick Bailey. And I'm sure that right now, no Giant fan is in the mood to feel sorry for Patrick Bailey. And there's no time for that anyway. But I literally don't know what the Giants are necessarily going to do with this guy. A 2-time Gold Glove catcher. And since Jesús Rodriguez got called up, this is his 3rd night out of 4 in the catcher position. The only time that he wasn't in the catcher position was when it was a day game after 2 night games, and they're never going to do that anyway. So it very much appears to me like the Giants are sending a message this week. In this moment, snapshot right now, Jesús Rodriguez is your starting catcher. And oh, by the way, the Sac is about to be back. Daniel Susac is starting his rehab assignment, and I want you to listen to what he has done this year with a bat in his hand. In the major leagues, he is 11 for 23 at the plate. And then he has one minor league assignment. He's 3 for 4 with 2 homers. He, this year, if you combine those two things, he has gotten more hits than times gotten out this year as a hitter. So I'm sorry, you're not leaving that on the bench. Who is the Giants' starting catcher next week when they go to L.A.? Scott-da-da-da.
I mean,
who is it?
Right now, you would probably think it would be Daniel Susac, and maybe Jesús Rodriguez and Susac are going to duke it out. If you look at just the numbers in the bigs this year, Bailey's played in 29 games. He has 12 hits. Susac has played in 11 games, and he has 11 hits.
Right.
So one fewer than Bailey in 18 fewer games and 65 fewer plate appearances, and Rodriguez is 4 for 9. And I know some of those 2 of those hits came in right field, but they like the bat enough to where he's 4 for 9. Yeah. So he gets to start tonight. And for me, it becomes even more of an interesting question about who starts tomorrow. Do you go to Bailey? Because if you go to Bailey tomorrow, then would you go back to Rodriguez on Sunday?
Day game tomorrow?
I thought tomorrow was a night game. I could be wrong.
Let's see. Tomorrow, 6:05.
And then Sunday's a day game.
Sunday's 1:05.
So either way, the Saturday-Sunday is going to be split between the two, you would imagine.
I guess. I don't know. Susac might be back by then. I don't know how long the rehab assignment goes. I don't know how many days he needs.
It was 10-day retroactive, so...
Oh, he's eligible.
Right.
He's ready. He's ready.
Yeah? I mean...
Like, you're just in Sac to get your timing. It appears he has it. He went 3 for 4 with 2 dongs.
And Haas is 3 for 10 in his limited time, but he's the odd man out.
He's out.
I'm just pointing it out relative to Patrick Bailey. Even Haas, in a small sample, has produced at a level of Patrick Bailey.
Well, and there's a further question. Can you even keep Patrick Bailey? Is there a point to keeping him on your roster if there are 2 catchers ahead of him? Teams don't carry 3 catchers.
Well, Rodriguez is a hybrid, in essence.
For sure. So maybe you could do that. But if you've got all 3 of them on your team, explain to me the scenario where Patrick Bailey starts a game. I get that he might finish some, but explain to me the scenario when Susac is back where Patrick Bailey starts a baseball game for the Giants.
Is either Logan Webb or Robbie Ray or Landon Roop tied to Patrick Bailey as a preferred catcher?
No. I mean, maybe they were, but Robbie Ray is throwing tonight. And Jesus got Logan Webb earlier this week.
Right. So there's not that, connectivity. I was thinking about Greg Maddux, and he always would have, I think it was Eddie Perez.
Instead of Javi Lopez.
Always catch. Like, he would always catch Greg Maddux, and it's like, this is what Greg wants, and this is what Greg gets. But I was just wondering if they had any of those 3, Hauser and Malley, whatever, you throw to who we say you throw to.
And exactly. I think Webb likes Bailey, but what are the Giants going to say to Webb and Bailey right now? Bailey, you don't hit, and Logan, you're not pitching well right now.
Yeah, 5.06 ERA.
So, sorry, the Sac is back.
I mean, and Jesus is hitting. Yes. So, I just think, with Patrick Bailey with one more option, he's allowed to be optioned down one more time in his career, and this might be the time. Like, go down there and just get comfortable hitting, because the catching's not the issue. And I know it's tough because 2 Gold Gloves, and he's been up here a long time, and number 1, first round pick and all the rest of it. But the alternative is you get cut, and you don't want to do that.
And the alternative is that you sit here at 3rd and King and watch baseball.
But you don't want to carry 3 catchers.
As you said, Jesus is a hybrid. I don't mind all 3 of them being on the team. My point is that what I don't see is Patrick Bailey starting any of the games. And that does bring up larger questions, which we can get into right now. You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco, Odyssey Sports Station, home of the Golden State Warriors and Valkyries. They play tonight at 7, always live on the free Odyssey app and coming to you live from the Laughing Monk Studios. Let's see. By the way, good question on the text line that just came in. What about Harrison Bader? Also started a rehab assignment last night. Also hit a dong. So now who leaves when he comes back up? Jesús Rodriguez has to be on the team right now. He's technically your fourth outfielder. They don't have any other outfielders on the roster.
Casey Schmidt.
Well, if they're willing to put Casey out there, sure. But when Bader comes back, this is easy. When the sack comes up, you send Eric Haas out.
Easy.
Right. Now when Bader comes up, I don't think you're sending Drew Gilbert back down, are you?
I mean, you might, but I mean, he's been pretty good.
That feels ripe for a center field platoon between Drew and Harrison.
Yep.
All right, so who are you sending out?
I mean, do you still have Chris Koss up here?
You do. I think they want him, though. He plays all the infield positions, and if you're sticking Casey Schmidt in right and you're short and outfielders, Koss has made it through all of these up and downs already. He's been on the team the whole time.
Right, and I mean, you say he plays all the positions. The guy has played in 7 games.
No, I know, but they like
he actually doesn't play.
No, but if Casey's going to be an everyday player, then he's not a utility man anymore. He's an everyday player. He's in the lineup.
But you can slap him, if you get into a spot in the game, you can move him to a different position if you want.
Not if he's a DH, and he DHs a lot.
But he shouldn't DH when, Bryce Eldridge is actually, going to be a guy. So
or is it Bryce Eldridge?
You give the guy 10 at-bats and that's it?
No, but I'm talking, we're 3-4 days down the road. I would say the candidates, if you're going to bring Bader back up.
And the sack, Daniel Susac.
Well, sack is for sure. There's no question. He's a Rule 5 guy, and he never makes outs. He's coming back. So who do you send down? Your candidates are Christian Koss, Patrick Bailey, or Bryce Eldridge. Or a pitcher.
Aha, you just led me right to where we need to be.
Okay.
Barucky. I mean, you can't even say his name without a sneer.
Oh, by the way, Eric Miller's going to come back pretty soon.
Yep.
So maybe that, you want lefties. You need some lefties down in the pen.
You do.
Until Miller comes back. So I don't think it's going to be Barucky. Barucky.
Not your favorite. And you are not the closer.
No. You're not even the middle reliever.
Normally, when you have a roster crunch like this, it's because you have too many good players. This is like, who is the dregs of the dregs that we should get rid of first?
All right, Connor in San Leandro. Hi, Connor. Thank you for calling. What's up?
What's up, Willie and Divvy? First, I want to say, I'm going to get to Patrick Bailey, but I will say I'm a little surprised that Gibbs has not yet leveraged the current circumstance to really increase the ad rev, because now more than ever, he is in need of a closer.
That's true.
I'm going to take a contrarian take here and say, give me 3 catchers. First, I just think that with our park, pitching and catching is the number one thing. I understand that currently, technically, Webby isn't tied to him, but I really do think that Bailey is the centerpiece of the future of the franchise, and one of them, and so is Webb. And pitching and catching, you always need to keep that for the long-term benefit of how this team will ultimately win a ring. I just believe that. And so if right now the people that Buster went and got who are supposed to make up for Bailey's hitting aren't hitting, then maybe sit him, but don't send him back down. Don't do anything to his long-term potential for the team. And if that requires us to have 2 catchers, so be it. Second point, I really want to see how Vitello deals with 3-catcher situation, like goofy, awkward situation, a crunch, right? All of this stuff. I want to see how he handles the moment, how he helps the team get through this, because they do need to stop the tailspin. They need hitting. They need somebody who can keep driving runs in or start driving runs in. And so I'm all for whatever goofy stuff we need to do to start driving in runs. I want to see Vitello shine right now. And then, just ultimately, I think I'm just probably just a Patrick Bailey fan. He's the kind of guy that I want on my roster long term, even if right now we really do need to get out of the tailspin. So, I'm probably biased in that way, and I admit it, but don't do anything to Bailey, guys.
Yeah, Connor, thanks. Yeah, this super interesting, man. The one thing that Connor said there that sort of got my antennas up as a question mark is when he said, clearly Patrick Bailey is the future catcher of this organization.
Huh?
Is he?
No.
I get he's a really good catcher. He is a really good catcher.
He catches the baseball and he throws people out.
No. he's a really, really good defense. He might be, and probably would be, the answer that came up most as the best defensive catcher in the game right now.
Which is great.
And that is worthwhile. But I don't think it guarantees you the gig. Not when you're hitting, what is it? Is it $150?
$146.
Oh, my God.
Think about it in life. What can you get for $146? Like, you can't even get a candy bar. We have a soda machine here, and I think you can get a Diet Coke for $1.50.
Can't do it.
So that's about, I know that the peanut M&Ms in our little machines, $1.75. Patrick Bailey, you can't even get a bag of peanut M&Ms.
You can't even go over to the dollar bins at Target. They sneak $2 stuff in there sometimes.
And the dollar store is no longer $1.
That's correct.
Everything in there is like $1.25. We get one of those Mylar balloons that last for 3 months. That's like $2.
Listen.
$1.46, coach.
If you're the best defensive catcher in baseball, I believe you can get away with hitting 220. You cannot get away with hitting $140. You just can't, especially not when you have two other catchers who both really hit. And that's what it looks like. This is a small sample on both of them, but that's their MO, and that's what they've been so far early in their careers. And so I don't know. And you make a good point. Bailey was not drafted by this group. That's a Farhan pick. I do not think that is a guarantee. I'm not being flippant, but I do not think that Patrick Bailey is guaranteed the gig going forward.
He's not. And I'm just looking at his numbers right now, and all I can think of is what happened. Rookie year, he drove in 48. He had 7 home runs and an OPS of 644. Not ideal, but great catcher, 7th in Rookie of the Year. Next 2 years, Gold Glove, as you mentioned. He had 8 homers. He had 6 homers. He drove in 46. He drove in 55. The OPS was in the low to mid 600s. And this year, the OPS is 396. He has 1 home run, and he's driven in 5. So for me, yes, you're a great defensive catcher. You go to Sacramento, you spend 2 to 3 to 4 weeks with somebody who knows hitting, and you figure out either A, you're now a left-hand hitter only, or B, you're a righty, or whatever it is, and you relearn how to hit the baseball.
I don't know that you can go to Sacramento for 2 or 3 weeks and relearn how to hit the baseball. He never was a great hitter, quite frankly. He was better than this.
Decent.
And by the way, if Susac and Rodriguez keep hitting, you can go relearn to hit however you want. Like, so what? So what?
Well, then he becomes at least somebody you could trade.
I guess.
Right now, he has no value. You can't play him because he literally cannot hit. And if you look at his previous 3 years, he wasn't a great hitter, but he at least was a guy who could be serviceable, considering his defense.
I mean, see, I think that Patrick Bailey is a very tradable player. I mean, do you know what the league would do if you stuck Patrick Bailey on the market? The best defensive catcher in baseball with 3 more ARB years? Like that.
Well, I guess if you're a team that can afford an automatic out at the bottom of your lineup.
No, but catchers, dude. Great catchers. This is not that's not to be, just tossed around. The league loves that.
And I'm not tossing it around, but the fact that he's one of a number of automatic outs makes his impact more profound.
I know, and also, and by the way, you know how everybody is. Everybody always thinks they can fix him. Like they're going to think that they can fix him. He is a career 224 hitter. And if you can hit 220 as the best catcher in baseball, there's a spot for you. Problem is, as you said, we're hitting 146 this year.